A friend's Coinbase account was just compromised, and the hackers stole $16,000 of Bitcoin. I want to walk through how that happened and how you can keep that from happening to you. Of course, the easiest way is BitKey. Any Bitcoin that is on BitKey, you do not have to worry about that. The only thing that happened is this person's Gmail account got hacked. I believe the password on their Gmail account was the same password that had been used in other places, and hackers must have gotten a hold of that password to the Gmail account somehow. Data breaches are happening constantly all over the world, all the time. The very first thing a hacker does when they get a data leak is they go find out if that email address and the password work on Google. Rule number one, do not reuse passwords. You need to use a password manager, and all of your passwords need to be different. It is very important. Or even better yet, use passkeys. Passkeys solve all of this problem. So rule number two is make sure two-factor authentication is turned on everything, especially your Gmail account. If you compromise a Google account, you have the keys to the kingdom because you have access to the Google Password Manager and you have access to the Google Authenticator app if it's backed up to the cloud, which it is by default. What did these hackers do? So he woke up in the morning, rolled over, grabbed his phone, and there was a whole series of email alerts from Coinbase. The first said, you have sold $16,000 of Bitcoin. The second said, you have added a bank account to your account. The third said, you have added a second bank account to your account. They compromised the Gmail account. Through a data breach of some sort, they got the email address and password for some site other than Google. That username and password, they used that same username and password to log into Google. And because two-factor authentication was not enabled on the Google account, they got in. Once they were in, they looked through the password manager on Google and found that there was an entry for Coinbase. They also looked through the two-factor authentication codes in Google Authenticator and realized there was one for Coinbase as well, which gave them, again, all the keys to the kingdom. They then could log into Coinbase using the email address and password they found in Google Password Manager, and they could log in further into Coinbase using two-factor authentication codes from the Google Authenticator app, because they had access to that also because they had compromised the Gmail account. So how do you keep this from happening? Well, again, buy a BitKey. Hackers and scammers cannot compromise your BitKey. It's just that simple. You're not going to lose it. You're not going to, they've set up BitKey where as long as you have a trusted contact set up, it's basically completely impossible to lose your Bitcoin. The good news is in this case, the individual did have the majority of their Bitcoin on BitKey. So if they had not moved the majority of their Bitcoin over to BitKey, they would have lost way more than $16,000.